who you are and drop what you do in the comments. And, it's exciting to see what everybody here specializes in. So today we're going to talk about something that I was scared to dip my toe in the water, which is Facebook and marketing. Okay. And, you know, I decided to take this path because what I discovered of all of the platforms that I was using, that my potential clients were really on Facebook. I know a lot of us ask the question of what platform do I use? And a better question is, what platform are my clients on? Like, where are my clients, right? Like, if your clients are like business owners, LinkedIn is a great place to go, right? If your clientele are like professionals, LinkedIn's a great place to go. Now, when you start getting into like TikTok and things like that, now you're probably looking at a little bit more of like a younger generation for like the majority. But really, the question just came down to, and it's the same thing for you, like, where are your clients hanging out? And I realized I was seeing a ton of engagement with my audience on Facebook. So business owners, holistic practitioners, they're definitely on Facebook. And so that's why I chose to focus on Facebook, and perhaps that's the reason why you chose to also focus on Facebook. And again, for those of you who are brand new, I can't see who's here on the call. I can only see how many people are watching. So go ahead and let us know who's here. And we will get rocking and rolling and really talk about like why leverage Facebook? Like why even bother with social media? Right? When I first started my business as a hypnotist, I was asking this question, like, why even bother? Can't I just send paid ads to a website? And I'm sure maybe some of you are doing this right now. Can't I just send paid ads to a website? Let me tell you why this is not the best idea. Is this something you can do? Yes, for sure you can do this. Is it something that works? Yes, it works, right? Like, if you put ads out there and you link it to a website, people are going to click and people are going to go, right? If that's what you're talking about. Hey, Julianne, good to see you. So Julianne is, working on Facebook and building her Facebook presence, and I'm excited to hear more about that as we go along here. So while you can do that, what's going to happen is if your messaging is not dialed in, if you're speaking to a lukewarm audience, and here, let me tell you what most holistic practitioners do, okay, including myself, is you set up a website and you have all of these services listed, like you're some kind of therapist or like a psychotherapist or like a massage parlor, something like that. You have like a list of services. And the problem with this is that, first of all, if you don't have any sort of like opt-in or any sort of funnel built, you lose the leads just as quickly as they came. So like, you'll get people to your website, but are they sticking around? Are they taking action? Or are you just hoping that they book a call? And this is what I was doing. I was sending Google ads to a website. And while Google ads again works, you're going to pay a lot per lead. Like, you can easily spend $200 on Google ads and get nothing if you don't have this set up correctly. So really, when is a website a good idea? When you have a funnel. Like, I would never now set up a website and just send ads to it. I would never do that unless I had some sort of follow-up going, some sort of funnel going, nurturing campaigns and things like that. So if you are just sending ads to a website and that's it, and you're hoping people book a call, I would highly recommend you stop doing this, because you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And this is the go-to for most healers. And why? Because we just don't know better. We're good at the healing, right? We're good at the hypnosis. We're good at the readings. We're good at the spiritual stuff. We don't know about marketing. And so this was the first step I took. And at the end of last year, or I should say at the beginning of this year, I officially killed my Google ads. I just shut them all off, because I I was spending so much on Google ads and I was only getting back double. I would say unless you're getting like at least a 4x return on your ads, shut them off. Like or do something, because think about it. What good is having paid ads going if you're only returning barely double or maybe just 3 times? Because how much of your there's barely a profit margin there after all of your expenses, right? Because your ads aren't your only business expense. Okay? So, who here, for those of you who are tuning in and watching, first of all, for those of you who I haven't met yet, go ahead and let me know in the comments, what do you do? Like who are you and what is your spiritual superpower? What do you specialize it in? Drop it in the chat below. And are you doing marketing? Who here is doing marketing right now? Like put me in the chat if you are doing some sort of online marketing right now. Go ahead and put me in the chat. That'll let me know where you guys are if you're doing some sort of marketing campaigns right now. So here's what I see most hypnotists do, or holistic healers. I mean, it's the same. We're kind of looking for similar clients, right? Is they end up posting like sporadically on Facebook. Like it's like these sporadic posts. And the problem is if you don't learn how to actually use Facebook to leverage your business, you're always going to be chasing down like cold leads forever. And the amount of grinding and persuading and follow-ups you have to do because they're not warm and they're just cold and they don't even know you, right? It's I was just stuck. Like if you're posting sporadically, you're posting like links to your scheduling calendar. Here, book a call. Stop doing that if you're doing that, by the way. I'm going to go down a list here of what to stop doing because I keep seeing it over and over again and it doesn't make you look good. It actually makes you look cheap and needy. Okay? So why go down this path? Because if you learn to leverage Facebook, which if your clients are on Facebook, you now can collect warm leads. And you only need to have them see the ad once, and then you can move them to a community or a group. Okay? So first of all, you can eliminate the ad spend. That's why I love using Facebook, is because you can message people organically. In fact, what I teach is for you to go into if you don't have a Facebook group, is to go into other groups and leverage established groups. Leverage people in those established groups, right? They're in the groups for a reason. Okay? So if you are to really learn how to leverage Facebook, you can eliminate having to try and convert cold leads over and over and over again, which is basically sending ads to a website, sending cold leads to a website and hoping they stick, hoping they book. Okay? I mean, I'm telling you, this process was a grind. There's like no profit margin if your messaging isn't dialed in, okay? And you're not making at least a 4x return, okay? The other great thing about using Facebook is because now that you're in front of those people, and I'm going to specifically say Facebook groups here, what I encourage you to do is use Facebook groups, is because now you're collecting social proof. Right? Because people are liking, clicking, they're commenting, like all that engagement right there is social proof. Okay? So here's what you need to stop doing. Okay? And I've already ran through one of them, which is stop sending ads to a website where you have a list of services available. Just don't do that, because unless you're getting back what you're spending like 3 or 4 times that, I mean, where's the profit? Like, where's the profit? Okay. So the next thing is stop putting out posts to work for free. I see this constantly and it looks very desperate and needy when you're like, hey, book a call with me, or hey, I specialize in helping blank with blank with blank, book a call. When you spam your Facebook with book a call, book a call, book a call, First of all, it looks very desperate. It looks like you have no qualifications whatsoever, and you'll take everybody and anybody. Now, there's a time and a place to do this. And if you're just getting started, I would encourage you to do like a trade. But here's the thing. Here's where I see a lot of practitioners fall into the cracks is they do this for months. They do this for months. They work for free for months or even years and barter for months or even years. You know, when I started my hypnosis business, I said 10 people get free sessions and then I cut it off. Then I jump my prices. But what I constantly see is like months later, the same healers and hypnotists are putting out, hey, here's some value, book a call. Or book a call, book a call, book a call, book a call. I'll do free sessions, free sessions. Like, think about that. It's like dating, right? If you're like everything's free, who is going to come? Everybody who wants something free. Okay? So stop putting out posts. If you're past this mark, right? If you have been practicing for more than like 2 weeks, I would say if you've been practicing for more than 2 weeks, you're past the 2-week mark. You've got your certification, and it's been 2 weeks since you've graduated. Now it's time to start charging, okay? And stop bartering and stop selling yourself for what I like to call peanuts. Like stop selling yourself for scraps. Okay? The next thing is to stop spamming your timeline. Like stop spamming your timeline with book of calls. Like it's better if it's done in a group. I still don't encourage you to spam a group if you have one, but it's even worse when you put book of calls all over your personal timeline. Because have you intentionally grown your audience and your personal Facebook page to be possible good potential candidates? Or are you just posting all this, free, get a session here on to just anybody and everybody? Again, what this sub communicates is a few things. It sub communicates that you'll take anybody and everybody. It sub communicates that you do not value what you have. It sub communicates that I need you more than you need me. That's what that communicates. And again, that's okay for a short amount of time. I would say as soon as you get your certification, 10 free sessions, and then you start to charge. You go right into it. Because if you stall, it's going to spiral and start to like manifest into something even worse, right? Imagine practicing for free for a year. You've wasted all that time to build up your confidence, to build up your niche, to really discover the type of clients you want to work with and those you don't want to work with. You've done no qualifying. So you've missed out on a whole year of really dialing in your business when you just work for free and post book of calls all over the place. So stop doing that. Stop posting book calls everywhere. Even if you have a group, stop posting book of calls in your group. Because again, do you really know your group that well? Like if you have like over 500 people in your group, or if you even have a few hundred, then like, are you just willing to talk to anybody and everybody? Okay. The next thing to stop doing is stop trying to appeal to the masses. Stop trying to, again, this kind of goes back to the spamming. I see holistic practitioners now doing like TikToks and Facebook Reels. And what they do is they try to talk really fast. Like they try to like, here's why you need to pay attention. Here's why you need, learn these 3 tips, 1, 2, 3. And it comes off so desperate and needy. And it also comes off very like one-sided. Like if you're not even really giving any value. You're so busy talking so fast to make sure you get your whole pitch in that you really like nobody's gonna reach out. Okay, so you might need a better strategy with Reels. I don't know a whole lot about Facebook Reels messaging and things like that. I don't do that personally, but I know they only give you like a minute and a half to do something. And I ran some messenger ads for a while, and they can be great. But the mistakes I see is this air of desperation, and trying to convince people of your value. There's like this convincing, like really trying energy. Okay. A leader knows they have value. A leader who is confident, they know their value. They don't have to put like a bunch of punctuate. They don't have to put like 5 exclamation marks. They don't have to use double question marks. They just use one because they just assume people are listening. You see that? So that was just a little bit of leadership right there. So that leads me into my next point, which was stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to persuade people to book a call or send them links to your calendar. You know, I talk to a lot of practitioners and even coaches who they send their link to their calendar through direct messenger. Never ever give a prospect more work to do. They're not going to do it. They're not going to jump through more hoops to get on your calendar. And this is just like an air like of leadership and professionalism that you get to grow out of. Like, don't assume you're great. You know, I've said this over and over again to so many clients and even potential clients, is that no product, service, or person is good enough to sell itself. You will have to market the hell out of whatever you have, just like everybody else. You there watching. I don't care how special you think you are. I don't care how many certifications or degrees you have. Okay? This is I get on calls with holistic practitioners and they're just like, as soon as I put this out there, people are going to come running. I had the same attitude, and boy, was that a slap in the face. Okay? So how many of you have had that experience where like you just assume people would come running as soon as you put your thing out there and it's just crickets? It's just crickets. And why? It's not because your product is bad. It's not because you're not good enough. It's just because there's so much, it's so saturated. There's so much competition out there. You are now in a war for eyeballs, just like every other business out there. You are now in a war for eyeballs and attention. Okay. And people's attention spans are what now? Like, 3 seconds. I think like 3 seconds is what we're competing for now. Okay. So stop sending people calendar links. Stop telling them to do things. It's your job to get them on your calendar. You get them on your calendar. Okay. Again, no person, service, product, anything, no person or service or product is good enough to sell itself. Nobody's coming running. Nobody is coming running. Okay. Like, I like to be frank here on this channel and straight up with you guys. The minute you might get interest, you might get likes, you might get comments, but as far as a transaction happening, as far as money being like transferred to your bank account, that is a whole nother level. That is a whole nother set of skills that you get to develop in order to make that happen. Okay. All right. And finally, the last thing to stop doing is stop being salesy. Stop being salesy on your Facebook page, if you have a Facebook group. How many of you here have an active Facebook group right now? Drop the word Facebook group in the comments if you have an active Facebook group right now. Do you guys here have an active Facebook group? Trying to see who's here. You guys are awful quiet over there. Who here has an active Facebook group right now? Go ahead and drop Facebook group in the comments and let's see who here is active on Facebook. Who's using Facebook groups to try and attract clients? Go ahead and let me know down in the chat. So Julianne, I know Julianne does. Ava has one. Well, one yes, but one no. Ava, I'm not exactly sure what that means. So do you have one? Do you have one, Ava? Do you have a Facebook group? And for everyone else on the call, who here has a Facebook group? Just so I can get a gauge of where everybody is here. Because, again, like, people think it's just a matter of just putting everybody into a community. And there's so much more strategy behind it. I see. So you have one that's functioning and one not yet started. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. So here's what I'm going to recommend. So stop being salesy. Like, I get so many messages in my DMs where people, I can tell they're immediately trying to confirm that they need my help. Like, there's not even any rapport building. Like, how many of you guys, I bet I'm not alone here, do you guys get Facebook messages from people you don't even know, and they're immediately trying to confirm that you need their help? Like, it's annoying, right? It's really annoying. There's not even any rapport building going on. They're just like, hey, are you a coach? Hey, are you running a business? Hey, are you using marketing? Are you using Facebook ads? And it's like, there's not even any like person to person going on. And I personally find it super annoying. So are you guys getting that too? Like, I think I must get at least one a day. I mean, I must get at least one a day, because Facebook marketing and direct messaging is probably one of the most popular tools and strategies to use right now. And why? Because you eliminate so much of the ad spend. You eliminate so much of the money you have to spend on paid advertising. I'm not saying you don't use it. You can use it. I've built my online virtual business without paid ads, and that's what I teach, is organic method of building up your audience. But you certainly can use ads. But the problem is like, what good are the ads if you're not building rapport with people? If you're just instantly book a call. Hey, are you running a business? Hey, like, what are your biggest challenges right now? Like, there's not even that person to person contact. And I too have personally struggled with this. Like, this was some growth I had to do as well. Okay. So those are things to stop doing. Stop spamming people. If you've been practicing for more than 2 weeks, if you've graduated for longer than 2 weeks, it is time for you to now start to, I hope you're qualifying people. So qualifying people, stop posting, book a free session. Again, these are just ways you look kind of desperate and needy. And, I can see some people just like they're just drilling, like they're just beating a dead horse now. I've personally seen one hypnotist on TikTok for months. And what they're doing is they keep doing the same strategy over and over again with this very kind of like listen to me energy, convincing energy, and then book a call with me, book a session. How do you even know you want to do a session with them? How do you know they even want to do a session with you? See, it kind of subcommunicates that you already think you're good enough. Like, you already think you're enough. You assume that the client wants to work with you. And again, this is just a little bit of growing pains that I am doing, have had to do, and what you guys are going to need to do as well. Okay? So that's what to stop doing. Okay? So some of you have a Facebook group here. For those of you who have a Facebook group, like who is your audience? Do you know who your audience is yet? Who's your niche? Drop it in the chat. Do you know who your niche is? I would imagine if you have a Facebook group, you know who your niche is. So drop your niche below if you have an idea of who your niche is. At least right now. Like, who do you think your niche is right now? Oh, Ava says there's connection issues. Are you guys able to see me and hear me okay? Are we still live here, or am I kind of choppy? Hopefully it's not my network. Can you guys see me and hear me okay still? Just give me a thumbs up, somebody. I know I have a lot running on this computer. But give me a thumbs up, and then we'll roll in exactly what to do differently. What to do instead of what not to do. So can you guys hear me okay? Are you guys see me okay? And then we'll get rolling into that. Yes, no? Can you guys hear me and see me okay? I know Ava, you're having connection issues. Totally fine. This will be in the replay. This will be in the timeline. And I'm gonna refresh here. So okay, so there we go. So Julianne, this is woman wanting a loving relationship. Very popular niche. Yep. Yep. Okay. Cool. So you guys can hear me. Good. We're back. All right. So that's what not to do. So stop. I would say commit to yourself now. If you've been practicing for more than 2 weeks, no more spamming your timeline or your Facebook group with book a calls. Okay? Because you shouldn't give people access to you like that. I wouldn't want people to have access to me like that. Like, would you want anybody on to book a call? Like, I know I wouldn't. Okay. All right. So here's what to do instead. You guys ready for what to do instead? Guys, give me the number. Give me ready in the chat. If you guys are ready to learn what to do instead, just drop the word ready in the chat. Make sure we still have some fire going here. I can't believe we're already 30 minutes in. My voice is like getting ready to go. You're saying, Ava, yeah, guys, feel free to drop your questions in here too. I always forget to say that. Like, drop your questions in here too. This is not just me talking at you like you're watching TV. Drop your questions in here. Ava says, you mean don't make your calendar open? Yeah. No. No. Ava, that's exactly what I'm saying, actually. No. Me personally, no. I do not offer calls to everybody. I do not want anybody, just anybody, to have access to my calendar. Okay? For me, there needs to be some qualification first before I say, okay, I have this time available, or, here's a link to book. So I would say no. In fact, I think if you do that, if you make your public calendar open to anybody, you probably get ghosted. You probably get people not showing. You probably get a lot of no-shows, ghosted, no-shows, cancellations, I forgot, things like that. I was tired of that shit. I was so tired of that shit that I eliminated my website. I don't get clients through my website at all anymore. Once in a while, somebody finds me organically, like maybe once every other month, somebody books with me from my website, but I don't use it to promote myself at all. I do not want the public having access to my calendar anymore, because I don't just work with the public anymore. I work with like a super niched group. Okay. And that immediately actually propels your perceived value to the public, right? Not having your calendar link everywhere. Okay. That's what I've stopped doing. Again, like I wanted to increase my perceived value to the public. And so I removed the link to book on my calendar from the public. Okay. So if your goal is to increase perceived value, you want to have a few more hoops for people to jump through than to just click a button. Cause that's how you get no-shows and cancellations and ghosting. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. I was going down a rabbit hole there, Ava. So I hope that answered your question. So here's what to do instead, okay? Here's step 1. Create a Facebook group if you don't have one already. Because already when people join your Facebook group, they've given you permission to reach out. They have now given you permission. They have said a lot of, just by someone joining your Facebook group, they've said a lot of things. They said, 1, I'm interested in your topic. 2, I'm interested enough to join. 3, I'm curious to know more, right? They've said a lot of things. Okay, so if you have your group set up properly, then you can easily leverage that join to spark up a conversation. Okay, that's already a warmer lead than if you were to just send someone to a website and they may or may not book a call. Again, I see therapists do this. I see psychotherapists do it. You can do it. I'm not making it wrong, okay? I'm just telling you the reason I stopped doing that, because so much money was being left on the table. I wanted to increase my profit margin, and I wanted to cut down on how much money I was leaving on the table, okay? And also, I wanted to specialize in a niche. And I didn't want my, like, anybody and everybody. I wanted to eliminate the ghosting, okay, and the no-shows, okay? I get no-shows now. Like, on the last probably 15 calls I've booked, everybody has shown up. I would say, I would go as far as even the last 20 calls I set up. Everybody has shown up. And it's because I do a qualifying process. I don't just say, here's a link, book, or when are you available to talk. I don't even put out an offer to book unless I hear a certain thing, okay? All right? So that's the first thing, is get a Facebook group. Have a Facebook group. Have a tribe, a community of people that you're always continuing to nurture and warm up, okay? Stop spamming your timeline. Stop spamming your timeline with get a free session, book a free call, do this, I'm excited to help you. Stop all that. It's very needy. It's going to repel people who really want it. It will bring in people who are curious, but it will repel people who are serious. Okay? The next thing to do is instead of posting sporadically, there is a strategy to warming people up in your group. Instead of what do I post today, what do I post tomorrow? Post strategically to your warm audience, which is your group. Okay? I'm not telling you don't use your personal timeline. There's a strategy for that too. But for now, focus on your Facebook group, and you want to post strategically to your Facebook group, basically a content calendar. How many of you guys have heard the word content calendar before? Have you guys heard the word content calendar before? That's what you want to create, is a content calendar. So you know what you're doing. It's not random. It's not needy. It's not based on how you're feeling that day. This is another mistake I see some healers make, is that they may or may not post depending on how they're feeling that day. Bad way to run a business, okay? Because, I mean, look at these other businesses out there. Look at these car dealerships. Do you think they shut their doors when they're having a bad day? Look at my favorite restaurant, Cava. My favorite fast food restaurant, Cava. Do they shut their doors because they've had a bad day? Absolutely not. They stay available. They stay consistent. Like, would you go to a restaurant that randomly closed its doors just because they didn't feel like it? Would you pay attention to someone who sometimes showed up and sometimes didn't, like took a week off randomly? Probably not. Like, people aren't going to work harder people are not going to work harder for you. They're just not. Again, because there's so much availability, there's so much information out there, there's so much free information out there. People don't need to work harder to get information. They just don't. So it's actually up to you to keep people's eyeballs on you. Okay? So Julianne says, yes, I don't have one set up yet. Julianne, I don't know what you're referring to. You don't have what set up yet? What don't you have set up yet? Okay, so get a content calendar. That's the second point here. Instead of posting sporadically, I feel good today, so I'll put out a live. I feel like shit today, so I'm just going to disappear. Don't do that. Have a regular content calendar so you know Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. Maybe you have something. Maybe you have one day off a week. It's different for everybody. I have my content calendar. There's a content calendar strategy that I teach to my clients, to the hypnotists and holistic healers I work with. So I'm happy to share that with you if you want more. In fact, maybe I'll make that a little offer in this group. How many of you would like to know my content calendar? Put me in the chat if you want to know my content calendar, and I'll create something and drop it in the group. So just write me in the chat if you want a content calendar. Okay. The next reason to utilize a Facebook group is because now you have not only increased your perceived value, but now you're an expert. Now you're an authority in your group, right? Because you're hosting things. You're the person. You're the host. You're the go-to expert in your group. Okay, so now you're not just like posting to your friends on your timeline. It's not this random group of people you don't know and do know. It's now you're posting to people who actually give a shit about what you have. Isn't that great? Doesn't that feel much better when you post and share things with people who care versus I hope they're interested. I hope they're interested. I hope they're interested. Okay. And again, this is stuff I've been guilty of. I have done in the past. Okay. And that's why I'm sharing it here so that you can stop doing these things, especially if you've been out there practicing for a long time. It's time to start charging, like one of the biggest ways I see hypnotists and healers get stuck is they spend a whole year practicing for free, a whole year bartering for practice. What are you afraid of? That's my question to you. What are you afraid of? Because nobody here wants to work for free. I guarantee that. Nobody here wants to work for free, but there's a reason they do, okay? And again, I'm all for practice, okay? But you have to cut that off. You have to cut off the stream of free stuff, the stream of free sessions, or you will never build perceived value in social media's eyes, in Facebook's eyes, in your email list eyes, or whoever it is, okay? So I would say limit yourself. Stop now. If you've been practicing for free and putting booker calls all over the place, just stop doing that. Immediately, that's going to start to recharge your credibility as soon as you stop doing that. Okay? Okay, Ava. So what I'll do is, for those of you who, just an idea, I'll put together like an example content calendar and I'll drop it in the group probably sometime in a few weeks. So good. I'm glad to know what you guys want so that I can deliver that. Okay. Here's another reason to do this, guys. I'm as you can see, I'm really excited about this next one. When you have a Facebook group, immediately you cut through objections that you could potentially get on a call because you're building trust when you have a Facebook group. You're building trust, right? When you deliver value over and over again, it's like you're creating a relationship on a massive scale. I have 800 people in this group. I'm creating relationships on a mass scale versus one at a time, which is what you're going to do if you're running ads to a website. You're creating rapport one at a time. When you're doing a Facebook group, boom, like here I am talking to 7 of you at one time. Do you see the benefit in doing a Facebook group or an email list? It doesn't even have to be Facebook group. It can be Instagram, right? I personally am talking about Facebook here because it's the best one. That's where my clients are. That's why I use it. But here's the thing. Now I'm creating a mass rapport building strategy here because I'm talking to 6, 7 of you at the same time versus one person who came in from an ad, then another person who came through an ad, and I'm regurgitating the same thing over and over again. Again, personally, I got tired of that. I got tired of being ghosted, no shows, and spending my ads on that. I was spending my ads on those people, and I was done, okay? What else? I already talked about this a little bit earlier, but when you have a group of things that you've built up over time, now they're social proof. Now you have likes, you have comments, you have people participating in polls and answering questions. This is called social proof. Now people are watching because they're seeing that person click and that person comment. Now you're going to get other people's attention because now there's social proof. Okay? It's very hard to build social proof through an email list. It's just really hard because people don't know what other people are doing. They don't know what other people are watching or are buying. Okay? So another reason why I highly recommend a Facebook group is you have a community here that you're with every single day, and they're with each other every single day, and they're looking and watching each other, and what do I pay attention to? What's everybody else doing? And that you can build forever. Okay? So I love the community feel. Okay? You guys ready for the next one? This is probably, yeah, this is a good one. You guys ready for the next one? Let me know. Let me know you're still alive there. It's been quiet for a second here. Julianne says a consistency plan, content calendar. Ava says I want to see yours. Okay, so Ava says she has a content calendar, but she wants, is Ava, is your content calendar not working for you? Is it like not getting results for you? Like what's going on there? Okay. And the last two, okay? Here's the thing. When you have an online tribe on Facebook in a group, you always have people to market to. You never have to wait for the next person to click an ad. You never have to wait. You know, one thing I used to do, for those of you who ever ran a website, you can see how many people are active on your website through Google. I can't remember the name of the thing, but you can watch how many people are active on your website. And I would sit there and be like, I hope people book. I hope people book. Or I could only see those people who were on the website, and then they leave. Ava says, you can't stick to it. So it sounds like it's not working for you. Narrowing down topics. I like to incorporate holidays. I'm being behind. Got it. Okay. All right. Sounds like this is a pain point. So I will put something together. So here's the thing. When you have an online tribe, you always have someone to talk to. You always have someone who could be interested, right? When you have an online Facebook group, it's just a matter of time before a lot of these people take action. Okay? When you send people to a website, they go to the website and they may or may not take action. It's like yes or no. That's it. They may or may not take action. When you have an online tribe or community on Facebook, that's private, right? Not your timeline. Make that clear. It's just a matter of time before people take action. It's just a matter of time versus are they going to take action? So do you hear the difference? One is like the holy grail. Like, I hope they book. And if they don't, they're gone. And if they didn't opt into your thing, they are really gone, right? So if you're going to use a website, I hope you have something on there to capture people and then nurture them and a funnel. You know, and that was my issue. I had a website, no funnel. So people come and go. But when you have a Facebook group, now you have the leads. Now you have people in front of you. They're not going anywhere unless they proactively leave, right? They leave Facebook, they leave the group, which is fine, right? But majority of people are coming in for a reason. They're curious. They want help. And they want something now. Okay, so you always have a group of people online to speak to every day, to build rapport, to build trust. By the time I get on the phone with people, they know who I am. By the time I get on the phone with people, they already know what I do. By the time I get on a Zoom with somebody, they already know what we're going to talk about. Like having a group or a Facebook community saves a lot of time. Again, you eliminate a lot of the brand new, hi, my name is this, here's what I do, because you're doing that all the time in your Facebook group. Is this helpful to you guys? Is this helpful or is it not? Because I want to gauge you guys. Is this helpful to you guys? Is this making sense? Is it helpful? Are you getting some ahas in here as I'm going here? At least with the stop doing. I'm just going to refresh everything here. Is this helpful to you guys? Just let me know in the chat below. Give me a yes. Okay, good. All right, good. All right. And the final thing here is once you learn how to leverage a Facebook group, the strategy of converting people to clients, you can use the same strategy on any platform. You can use it through Instagram. You can do the same thing through LinkedIn. You can do it through even TikTok if you get connected via Messenger. As long as you have like a Messenger app connection or way to direct message people, you can really copy and paste this strategy on any platform. Okay? But what I like about Facebook groups more than any platform is you have a private community where you are the expert, where you are the leader, where you're hosting things regularly. People are getting to know you. You're building trust, right? You're able to build trust. And also, you're not like, you don't have to keep following up with your friends list, okay? So this is really why I switched and pivoted to Facebook groups. And this is where I get all my clients from now. I don't use my website at all. I ditched Google ads. And like I said, I only recently just started Facebook ads. I did not start Facebook ads until I had my messaging and my marketing and my niche dialed in. Okay? I would highly recommend do not do ads unless you have your niche dialed in. Okay? You can test things through paid ads. It's just going to be a lot of money going out there, which is why I teach an organic way of testing your messaging and your marketing. That's what I do. I always test my messaging and my market with an organic method. And once that's nailed down, boom, now we can start firing off ads. Okay? But if right now you're sending ads to a website hoping people book and you haven't captured anything, there's no follow-up, nothing, then you've lost them. They're gone. You know, unless you're retargeting them or something, you got some kind of follow-up process going. But these are just the typical things I see. Stop posting BOCA calls everywhere. Stop. Chances are if you're here watching, you've been practicing long enough. It's time to start charging. It's time to start charging and stop doing for free. Because my question to you is, when are you going to be good enough? Where is that bar? When are you going to be good enough to charge? And if you're already doing that, when are you going to be good enough to raise your rates? Okay, when are you going to be good enough to raise your rates? I highly recommend you routinely raise your prices every 6 months. Every 6 months you raise your prices. And I already know people watching right now are going to be like, whoa. I already know it. I can feel it. As soon as I say that, it's like, whoa, every 6 months, that's a lot. Exactly. Because if you're not intentional about raising your prices, you never will. If you're not intentional, if you don't set up a time limit to stop charging this and raise your value, raise your rates, it's never going to happen. And that's what most holistic healers and practitioners don't do. They go by their feelings. How much are going to charge? They go by their feelings. Stop doing that. How to figure out how much to charge? I talked about this in the boot camp. How do you know how much to charge? How much do you want to make? And then reverse engineer. It's not about a feeling. Oh, it feels expensive. Why? If it feels expensive, why? What do you need to do? How can you feel good about charging $5,000, $6,000 for your course or for your group program or for your private coaching? Okay? It's just a matter of how, not yes or no. Okay? So I got to get off here. I got a client in like 5 minutes. My voice is shot. I'm going to go get a drink of water. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. If so, drop the word value in the chat below. Let me know if this was helpful for you. And if you want more help with this, the organic search on Facebook, setting up your Facebook group, really learning how to build a thriving Facebook group that of people, of leads who are already interested in what you want. They're warm. They're warm leads. If you want help with this, drop the word help in the chat below. For those of you watching the replay, drop the word help in the chat below if you want to know more about this, you want help with this, okay? That's what I'm here to do. So drop value if you got value, drop help if you want, actually, if you're curious about what support would look like for this, and I will reach out, or a team member, in the next 24 to 48 hours, guys. So have an amazing rest of your week. I'll send out the replay. It'll also sit here and the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the group. Stay tuned.